Howdy! Welcome to the Whiskey Butler. I'm your host, Wesley Butler, here to serve you a little whiskey wisdom. It is day 9 on our 12-day advent through bottled and bond whiskeys, and I am very excited that you guys don't have to listen to just me again. I know you had to do that yesterday when we were talking about that whiskey, but I was able to find another special guest today, all the way from the West Coast, a former bartender, and when you have those friends out there that always drop a little knowledge on you when you're out at the bar, like, hey, have you ever had this? You should put this in your cocktail, so on and so forth. She is definitely one of those. Not to the point of being like, stop it, I don't want to hear from you anymore. Because if that were the case, then I wouldn't have asked her to join. But she's in town. It's the holidays, she's from the East Coast. So she happens to be in town for the holidays. So I asked her if she would join me for an episode. She politely said, yes, I would love to. So, warm applause for Marty McFly. Or, yay. I mean, she goes by Marty McFly, but, it's not actually Marty McFly. Marty McFly is a man and a fake character at that. Hello.
Hi, friend.
You're going to have to come a little further.
Oh, I have to get closer to you?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we don't want the poinsettia to block you.
Oh, yes.
How are you?
Not.
I see you brought your green room drink in with you.
I did indeed. I didn't realize that there was a limit on.
There is no limit. I
have two hands, so.
Well, okay. So in your other hand, we're going to put one of our bottled and bond whiskeys. Do you know which bottled and bond whiskey we're going to drink?
I have no idea.
Ah, excellent. I like to surprise everyone. But before we get to that, can you tell me former bartender. Can you tell me 2 things a bottled and bond whiskey has to be? Yeah.
I knew you were going to ask me questions like that, especially when I'm, already a few in. I didn't say that. 2 years.
You sure?
4.
Yep.
4 years.
Yep. Yeah, okay, 4 years.
2, 4. And it needs to be. I don't remember this.
What's the proof on it?
Oh, at least 100. No.
Or maybe like right at 100.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least 4 years. There you go. So we got at least 4 years, 100 proof. For everybody.
I should have known both of those questions.
You should have. If you need to learn more, then you should go watch the episode where I talk about bottled and bond whiskey. Or you can watch one of the previous ones where we talk about single distiller, single distillation season, 100 proof, 4 years, label that clearly says where it was distilled, that it's bottled and bond, so on and so forth. But that's our quick quiz into bottled and bond. So the one that I have specially chosen for you today, you actually brought a whiskey from this brand over to a party one time, but you brought the single barrel of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
I believe so.
Which one am I talking about?
I'm talking about...
Yeah. The summation of this whiskey is 19. The summation of the title of this whiskey is 19.
Woodford Reserve?
Nope.
The Four Roses. Oh, 1792.
1792,
yes.
Since the summation of the title is... You didn't pick up on that?
Nope.
So today we're going to talk about 1792 Bottled and Bond. This is actually one of their what they call their limited expressions. Mm-hmm. It started in, I want to say, 2017. This one is actually a single barrel select. So we're playing a little Russian roulette here, right? Because single barrel means there's no blending going on. It just came out of the same barrel from that one distilling season, one distiller, everything. So Bottled and Bond is actually, 1792. It's actually from the Barton Distillery in Kentucky. Their age on this is undisclosed, and the mash bill is just disclosed as a high rye bourbon mash bill. Which basically means that the rye on it is probably somewhere in the 30% range, corn somewhere in the 60s. So, Marty.
Yes.
Smarty Marty. How about we taste together? Cheers.
Yamas.
Look at you, Yamas.
It's Greek.
Yes, I know what it is.
Not everybody does.
What do you think of this?
I think it's quite lovely.
You think it's quite lovely? Well, you know, we'll talk about this for a little bit, and then I have a surprise.
Sounds great.
So we want the people out there to know a little bit more about you. What's your favorite holiday drink?
Okay. Alcoholic, I'm assuming.
It could be anything.
I actually make my own eggnog.
You make your own eggnog.
I do. It's fantastic.
Oh.
It's fantastic.
This goes along with, like, during the pandemic, you know, you had a small farm out on your balcony, you know, you were growing you make your own eggnog.
I did. I make my own eggnog.
Okay. How long does it take? I mean, I don't drink eggnog. I've never made eggnog, so I'm asking from a real place here.
Absolutely. The minimum is 2 weeks, and the
To make
longest,
it?
Yes. Well, to properly age it as well.
Oh, wow.
Because as we all know,
I didn't know it needed to be aged.
Well, you know, living true to my introduction here,
Yes.
I'm teaching you a little something.
There you go.
Yeah. So, generally, you could, I guess you could drink it away, but I wouldn't drink it before 2 weeks because really it helps the flavors get to meld, and it's pretty fantastic. But you can honestly make it and drink it 4 months later. It just usually doesn't get it past 2 months.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I have made it in quantities, multiple bottles, and just store it in the fridge, and then, you know, wait a couple months, and then you make another batch so that you can start drinking out of the previous batch.
So you drink eggnog all year?
No, I make it at the holiday season.
Oh, okay. Anything in particular you like to put in your eggnog?
It depends on the whiskey at the time. But sometimes I've done rum as well. So,
Ooh.
yeah, sometimes we change it up. And,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
It
depends on, you know, if I'm looking for more spice.
More spice.
Yeah, because you can have like different spiced rums, things like
Yeah.
that. Try not to do anything that has an overwhelming power, you know, flavor. It's got to
Right.
kind of go with eggnog, but
We had a whiskey earlier this week, the Jim Beam bottled and bond. I feel like would go well in some eggnog, or at least I was told by the studio audience that day that it would go well in some eggnog. So that's your favorite holiday drink that you actually make.
yes.
Okay. What's your favorite holiday movie?
Die Hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Yet another, so that actually came up in conversation in a previous episode as well, is whether Die Hard is actually a Christmas movie or not, and you're saying that it is.
I believe so. There's Christmas involved. I mean, that therefore makes it
Okay.
no, it's nostalgic to Christmas time. It reminds you that these are the things that might happen at Christmas, but we can save them.
Really? You think terrorists are going to take over your office building every time?
I don't think that it's going to happen. I'm just saying that the story is a little bit, it's somewhat believable. That's all. I don't think it's going to happen.
So if they had taken it over on Easter, would it become an Easter movie?
I don't know. What's another Easter movie?
I don't know.
Because there aren't Easter movies.
I'm sure there are Easter movies. You just said it takes place during Christmas time.
So
right?
that movie is nostalgic of Christmas.
There are lots of other movies that take place that Christmas takes place during those movies.
Okay, but they're not as good as Die Hard.
Okay. So we're sticking to that. We're sticking to it. Okay, we're sticking to that. Would you put this in eggnog? Or
could.
You could? I mean, yes, you could, but
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think one of the things is, the alcohol content depends on what you're trying to go for, I guess. I'm trying to say.
Well, first off, this is going to be really hard to find, so I probably wouldn't put it in eggnog. I mean, if you find it, it'll probably set you back maybe $60 or so. So I'd probably go for something lower on the price range if I was going to put it.
I was thinking the same thing, but
But
another thing is that what pace are you drinking these at? Because these, I'm telling you, it's when you're having a little, the little 1 or 2 fingers of whiskey. But
Sure.
when you're drinking eggnog, you might have 3, 4 and not really think about it. So you're going to go through it a lot faster than you think. Then you anticipate. And of course, if you're sharing amongst friends, then everyone else is going to have 4 of them each time, I don't know anything about this, maybe not from experience, just that you go through much faster. And I told you, it takes several months. So it's kind of, what kind of commitment do you want to make?
Well, hopefully everyone's committed to using that Lyft and Uber app on their phone after they've had 3 or 4 eggnogs, but that's something else we won't go into. So let's talk about eggnog a little bit more and what we might put in the eggnog.
Okay.
I may have been out recently looking for nothing in particular and may have come across another Bottled and Bond whiskey. So, we're going to go 2 for here in day 9. That's right. Day 9 is not only 1792. That's right. But it's also going to be another Bottled and Bond. This one is a bourbon. It is also a high rye mash bill, also made in Kentucky. Now, this is Barton. Barton is owned by Sazerac, so people consider that to be like a corporate whiskey. This is a privately owned, but I mean, they're all corporate whiskeys because there's, company involved, whatever. So, any clue as to what this might be? High rye, Kentucky. You ever seen the movie Pitch Perfect?
Yes.
Where they do they have their a cappella contests, and they're going back and forth. What's it called? It's the riff off. Isn't it called the riff off? I think they riff off.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So our new whiskey for today. Oh, where did I put it? Where did I hide it? Oh, it's down here. Is New Riff Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey Bottled and Bond. So
Never heard that before.
So this is exactly 4 years. It was distilled spring of 2018, bottled spring of 2022. Hence, one of the requirements is that you got to have that label there. It tells you when and so how long. So this is what we got. Still on it. So it's fresh.
Oh, very nice.
Should we partake?
Let's do it.
Yes.
And I do want to just
set the record.
1792, with the sub. What did you say? Summation.
Summation.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought you were talking about the number of letters in the title. So I was like, all right, Woodford Reserve? That's 17. No, that's only 15. Okay.
Well, I was hoping that the summation of the title would give it away, because how many whiskeys have numbers in the title?
How many whiskeys are there? There's billions.
I know, but
I love it,
not too many of them have numbers in the title. So let's get all right, so here we go. We're going to new riff it.
Riff it good.
So which was your favorite Pitch Perfect movie?
I believe I've only seen one of them, oddly enough.
Really?
And really only a few times.
Okay. I mean, it's okay that you've only...
a few times, like maybe twice. Or, once and a few pieces in between.
That's acceptable.
Which is odd because I really like to sing, so...
I know. I've heard you sing.
Thank you.
Alanis Morissette.
I have.
When we were in Kentucky, drinking bourbon.
Yeah, so not that song. I don't know why I chose that song, because a different one of her songs is
Is your favorite?
It's the one I've committed to now as my karaoke song.
Which one is that?
Hand in My Pocket.
Okay. All right. Well, here's to new riff. Here's to riffing songs at karaoke, riffing songs around the fire pit, drinking eggnog with maybe this new riff whiskey in it. Let's see if it's worthy.
Cheers.
I've never had this, by the way. No distinct smell on the nose. Ooh.
It's very boozy.
You think?
I do.
Okay.
Staying with me for a while.
I don't
I'm
know.
not necessarily saying that's a bad thing.
Right. But I kind of...
Go ahead.
I kind of like the flavor profile of this a little bit. Maybe. Let me let it open up.
Yeah. I feel like it's not as flavorful. I feel like I'm just getting a lot of alcohol.
Okay. All right.
Again, I'm not saying that's a terrible thing.
Everyone's got their own palate. So we're going to let that open up. And we're going to ask you, what is one holiday tradition that you recall from your youth?
From my youth.
From your youth.
Well, we would always go to my Aunt Bonnie's house.
Okay.
And that was
Shout out to Aunt Bonnie.
Oh, she's a wonderful lady.
Wonderful
lady. We would always go to her house, and she lived amongst a bunch of farms. She didn't have animals and things like that, but there were lots of horses, some cows, you know.
And this is in New Jersey?
It is in New Jersey,
Okay.
South Jersey, right outside of Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia, really specifically. But we would always go to her house, and, you know, she would get the giant Christmas tree and have it in the front corner, and some of the neighbors' kids and, you know, the other side of the family would come over, and they actually paid, I think it was probably one of the neighbors or somebody, to come in as Santa Claus. Okay. And,
you can say Santa Claus. It's okay.
well, I said pretend, but, you know, anyway. And yeah, it was just a great time. And I remember, like, the best gift from childhood. I had this animatronic Dumbo.
Okay.
And it came with the VHS. And it was epic. It was epic.
For those
I
of
was
you,
like 4.
for those of you unfamiliar with VHS, it is a tape that's about this big that you put in a thing called a VCR. If you don't know what a VCR is, look it up online or go to a local pawn shop. Actually, local pawn shop may not even have a VCR. You might have to just look it up online. Do you still have that VHS tape?
No, because we stupidly got rid of all of our Disney collection when I was probably like 14 or 15.
Yeah,
I was also the last kid, so they were ready for those to be out of the house.
That's money down the toilet.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Precisely.
I'm still getting the same. Hold on, I'm gonna go. So that's my new riff. I'm gonna go. I don't know. I mean, they're both good to me. It's not like they taste like dirty alcohol water.
No.
I still probably wouldn't. So new riff is going to set you back about $50, $55, depending on your liquor store or whatever. So probably still.
This could be good for an apple cobbler because some of the alcohol will bake off and you'll still get that flavor.
Okay.
Or you could use peach cobbler. That's always lovely.
Okay.
Peach.
I've had drip.
Yes, you have.
I've had your
blueberry cobbler for sure.
Yes, maybe
and
the peach cobbler.
Also had the apple cobbler.
Was it apple cobbler?
My going away party was apple cobbler.
Okay, so then I've had the apple
blueberry cobbler at my birthday party on the
yes,
rooftop.
On the rooftop. Yes.
That was a night.
We got some stories. We go way back. Yeah. Okay. So actually we'll start with the 17.
In December. We met right around this time of year. Maybe it was October.
I don't know.
We'll have to go back.
But it was at a bar.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another question that other guests have gotten, I don't want you to feel left out. If you were to we'll start, since you were special though, you got 2 whiskeys, okay?
I'll be. I'm so special.
If you were to get the 1792 in a stocking or as a white elephant gift, would you consider it to be charcoal? Or would you consider it to be a candy cane? Hence, charcoal bad, candy cane good. I just, there was somebody else who was a little unfamiliar with the process, and they were like, man, if I ever got charcoal, I would think it was a bad thing. Yes, it's to indicate bad, candy cane good.
Got it.
So I just wanted to throw that out.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say that's not coal per se, it's charcoal. Okay.
Whatever.
Okay. Just making sure that we're clear. No, and I appreciate that there's different flavor.
Yes.
Candy canes. I would.
Candy cane?
If that is the equation, sure. Yes.
So 1792 candy cane. So I'm going to ask you the same thing about New Riff. Would you consider it charcoal or candy cane?
No, I can still say candy cane because, again, while I wouldn't use this as normal sipping whiskey, I could absolutely find that as an addition to the kitchen adventures.
Okay. So if you're in the market for a really expensive apple cobbler or blueberry cobbler, next time Marty makes one with some $50+ whiskey here, we'll make sure to send a shout out. Actually, we'll just probably post a picture on Instagram and be like, Don't you wish you were having some of this?
Hey, you can't put a price on quality, right?
I mean, you actually can put a price on quality.
You can, but if I made a phenomenal apple cobbler and it just happened to use a really nice ingredient, would you,
Oh no, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue.
Yeah.
So
people pay for some really expensive, ridiculous stuff. So why not?
We don't even have enough time in this episode to talk about the things that people pay for, that people pay for. Okay. Well, I want to thank you for joining today for both of the whiskeys that we have. Thank you for joining and watching. Please like or comment on this episode. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. Click the bell when you subscribe so you never miss an episode like tomorrow's episode that's coming, day 10 of this 12-day adventure. We're coming to the end, but we still got some good stuff out there. Follow us on Instagram at The Whiskey Butler. Follow us on Twitter at Butler Whiskey. That is where we will post the pictures drinking Marty's very expensive cobbler that she uses this whiskey in. All right? So we're going to go drink some more of this, maybe have some dessert upstairs, talk about how California is treating you, and we will see all of you tomorrow. Thanks for joining and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.